What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
Welcome to the end of your life, and I promise it's going to hurt.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I know it's been a while. Thanksgiving came and went, but guess who's back? It's the Midwest Anime. It's the Midwest Anime Show, baby. It's your boy DOC on the mic today with Mr. Conspiracy and
what's happening?
Christopher Rollins. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
no relation.
You know what I'm saying? So I hope everybody had a good turkey day, got to eat some food, spend time with your friends, family, or whoever it is you actually care about in this life. Yeah, so we're about to get into it. And so this is going to be part 2 to Naruto. We're actually going into Shippuden. If I'm saying that right, host, I might be mispronouncing it, Shippuden.
No, Shippuden, yeah, you got it right.
So this arc takes place, it's 2.5 years? Is it a 2.5 year time skip? I think it's two and a half years.
Yeah, I know it's 2.
It's like at least 2
or 3 years. Yeah, I think it's 2-3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the time skip. So let's kind of rewind a little bit to catch our wonderful viewers up on what may have been happening. So at this point in the game, Naruto left the village with Jiraiya, okay, just in case you haven't watched the series, okay. Sasuke left the village to go be with Orochimaru to get the power because he wants to kill Itachi. And Sakura went with Tsunade to train. So basically, the 3 characters the show revolved around in the beginning of Naruto all went to train under 3 of the legendary signings, some of the strongest people in the shinobi world at that moment in time. And so we're going to pick up 2 years later when Naruto comes back to the village. But like I said, we're going to jump around this a little bit because I got more questions, if anything, about it. So I'm actually going to hit Pooh Bear up first, actually, on this one. So you're saying, I want to hear your thoughts about Shippuden. You know what I'm saying? Pooh Bear, like, what are your thoughts about
It's gonna be a short commentary because I barely remember. Only certain parts were great. You know, honest to God, I liked it better than Naruto. Naruto, you know, when we were younger, it was all cool. You know, the whole bratty thing going on. You know, Sakura simping. Yes, female simp too, homie. Okay, and she's
man, we about to be canceled already, man.
Simping, hardcore simper or simpet. Maybe sound better. Simpet. Yeah. So, but it carries on the Shippuden. You know, while bang, it was hot for me. Of course, you know, there was a lot of filler episodes I really didn't care for. The thing that, there was 2 parts that really stuck out with me for Shippuden. Well, I guess it was a bunch of them. Of course, at the end, the big war, you know, Naruto and Sasuke finally getting together, putting aside their stuff, battling the final enemy, the final boss. I did love the pain arc. I think we was talking about that a little bit last episode. The pain arc for me went hard. It was just the fact that it was this character. Like, he was so strong, bro. Wasn't he kind of like, was he paralyzed?
Well, so,
he was semi-paralyzed, but go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is, so the reason he got messed up like that is because after Jiraiya trained them, him and his partner formed the Akatsuki. Because their version of world peace was, you know, that they could live in this happy-go-lucky world. Well, the problem with that is where their village was located, Hanzo, who actually whooped the 3 signing, was the one who resided over their village. So Akatsuki decided to go to war with Hanzo, and Hanzo jacked the pain up, or Nagito, or whatever, however you say it, Nagito. Before all that, so he jacked him up. That's why he messed his legs up and all that. So that's why he was jacked up. Let's go ahead and finish your point.
I must have missed all that part, but yeah. So, you know, he all limp, partially paralyzed, you know, but he makes these puppets. Was it 9?
6.
6 puppets. Okay, I was off about 3. But he's so strong that he gives each of these puppets their own individual powers, and he's moving them like, they almost seem like they all had their own personalities, right? If I remember correctly. Like I said, I don't remember a whole lot. But that stuck out to me. That's just how bad he was. A little bit more context. Naruto Shippuden, like you said, picked up 2 years after the original Naruto. Naruto was off training with Jiraiya. I think everybody else became Genin except him, correct?
You mean
Became
Chunin?
Junin.
Chunin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
became Junin. Yeah.
said, he was already in it, but he didn't have to train. But I think he became more powerful, even though he didn't have the title. He definitely had the strength. And that's kind of where it's taken off from in their journey. All his little crew, everybody developing their skills. I thought that was pretty cool. I did like the whole signing. The Sasuke, whatever big head Senpet's name is.
Sakura.
Yeah, I like that growth development. And to be honest with you, I hated her in Naruto. She was all right, come to the end. Like, she stopped crying, relying on people, and she became a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? So now that boy gave her that power. So she became less of a Senpet. Still Senpet. I love Naruto. Shit, yeah, it was pretty fun. Like I said, but I know you guys are going to get a little bit more deeper into it. Because I know you know what I'm saying? Mine was just base level. So I'm going to pass it off on to Mr. Conspiracy. Oh, hey, is that your bathrobe?
Oh, snap. Here we go.
Man, we got to get you a 10 for hat, homie.
A 10 for a hat. Okay, well, I'll work on that.
People want it. Ain't that right, people? Thumbs up if y'all want to see that. Or just, say, hey, 10 for hat. But go on, sir.
Thumbs up, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Just put a 1 in the chat. How about that? If you want to get a 10 for a hat. If you want to get some Mr. Conspiracy's crazy, we can get you your own 10 for a hat as well, so you can feel like you part of the show.
Yeah, and a robe too.
Yeah, we get you a robe and a 10 for a hat. You can fit perfectly with the show. You want to be like who you want to be like. They say who I want. I want to be Mr. Conspiracy. I want my 10 for a hat and my bathrobe on, so I can roll around here and say stuff.
It says number 1.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So, Mr. Conspiracy, what's up? How was Shippuden for you?
Shippuden had so many levels and layers to it, so you actually hit the nail on the coffin. About 2 or 3 year time skip. Honestly, the beginning of Shippuden was really slow, in my opinion, because when Naruto came back, people thought more that he was going to be a little bit better training with Jiraiya, like more seasoned, more when it comes to his fighting style, maybe his methods. He wouldn't be such an idiot, almost like a dummy, basically, right? And to be honest with you, I think he came back and he was actually worse than when he left. Because at least, when he was a little bit younger, he had that excuse of, not having that life experience. And he was experiencing those battles and those villains for the very first time. And so he was actually getting to learn about how to control his chakra. He was actually getting to learn about being a Cherokee, and those type of situations. So he was learning those things, and you understood his growth and development because of that. And so you were on the, like that adventure, you were tagging along for that ride, and it was really interesting. So his sloppiness when it came to battles made sense, right? And Naruto, the first part. And the beginning of Shippuden no longer made sense. Spoiler alerts for the people who haven't actually seen it or actually seen most of it. We're about to spoil a whole bunch of that. Y'all there?
Yeah, we still here. What you talking about?
Okay. Y'all froze up on me a little bit. Okay. So for me, like, the whole situation went bad when they finally found Sasuke, when they went looking for him, right? When they finally got back, and him and Sakura teamed up with, I think it was Sai, and the new leader of Team 7. I forgot that dude's name, but he uses the wood style. He used to be part of a Danzo squad. And so they found Mochimaru's hideout. They actually find Sasuke, and when he finds him, you realize the difference of the levels and abilities that they're on. Like, he immediately could have killed Naruto if he really had felt like it. It was just, their level was just too far apart. And that's when you realize something was wrong after that time skip. That's when I realized that Shippuden had a lot to work up to if it was going to get a lot better at that moment.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Let me jump in. Let me ask you a quick question. So do you think for you, like, I always thought the reason Sasuke's abilities were so much further than Naruto's was simply because one was on a mission for revenge and didn't care what it took to get there. You know what I mean? Versus Naruto was more like, look, I'm trying to be strong, but it wasn't, I want to be Hokage, but you don't really like, I think the drive for revenge will push a person, to a far greater greater length than what Naruto was. I mean, he wanted to be Hokage, but was it at the cost of doing whatever it took? Sasuke was like, he threw everything away. He just completely committed to his training. At least that's my opinion, why I thought they were so much further apart. Because one's drive was like, and Orochimaru was like, yeah, go ahead, be upset so I can take your body. You go ahead like this and absorb everything so I can take over your body. Where Naruto was just like, I'm training to become Hokage, but never pushed, right? And I always thought that was the reason. But what do you think, Mr. Conspiracy? You think that was the big reason?
No, I saw it a little bit differently. Everyone has their opinion when it comes to that type of situation. I saw it a little bit differently. I saw it to where it was a waste for him to go train with Jiraiya, because he was really just going on an adventure with Jiraiya being a spy. I thought that was a waste, and that was a waste of Naruto's time. Because if you kind of notice, when Naruto actually gets trained properly, then his level goes to another level. And the perfect example is when he gets trained, when he goes to the Frog Sage, right? When they train him seriously. And when he comes back, he's a whole different Naruto. Like, that's when people really started to love Naruto as far as being able to battle. When his battle sense, his techniques, his abilities really took a step forward when he was trained seriously. It wasn't for revenge because, Pain hadn't attacked the village yet. He hadn't done anything yet as far as killing people yet, right? So for him, it was still just him becoming stronger, becoming Hokage, being able to protect the village. It was the same motivation. It was just that he was being trained seriously. That was the only difference. As far as Jiraiya really didn't train him seriously, Jiraiya really was just saying, hey, tag along so I can protect you for these next 2 years and I'll show you some things. He really didn't train him seriously. That's why I think he was kind of on a different level when him and, Sasuke finally met after 2 years.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, I definitely can say I enjoyed Shippuden more than I did Naruto. To Pooh Bear's point, a part of the thing is it was a little bit more mature, minus Naruto being the idiot that he is. With that being said, but I did like, they gave us a lot of character development, and that's what I liked about Shippuden. With the exception of Naruto, a lot of your characters, and I like the slow build because it at least gave them time to explain a lot of backstory, why the fighting and, things like that. So, I think one of the coolest parts is when you really see, you really find out who the mastermind about everything that's really going on, like why the village was attacked, right? Because before that, you don't really know why the Nine Tails attacked the village. Just, was it a random event? You don't know if it was random. You start finding out about Madara's plans. You find out about the Akatsuki. You start finding out about all this stuff that, you see glimpses of it in Naruto, but you really don't find out what's really going on until Shippuden. So I like the series because of the growth the characters take. Now, to your point, Mr. Conspiracy, it does take a while for Naruto to finally kind of get a little bit more mature, a little bit more grown up, because in the first beginning, like you said, when they first go to Mizai, he's still this big ass kid, basically, in the very beginning. So it makes it kind of difficult versus Sakura and Sasuke have already kind of matured. And they're at different places in their life, I definitely like it for that reason. So, but we got to get into the more juicy part, because that's cool and everything, but we got to talk about these fights. We got to ask these questions. So I'm gonna hit you up, Pooh Bear, you might have some limited knowledge, but you do remember your favorite fights. So let me go ahead and hear what it was for you. What was the fight you was like, this is, and it don't have to just be one. I give you a couple fights where you was like, this is my stuff right here. Like, this is where it's at. So what was your favorite fight?
This might not be popular for everybody. It just touched me. I just want y'all to know. It did not long, but it just touched my heart. Okay. What's his wife's name? Jesus Christ. I see her face. Hinata. Yeah. Listen. Hinata is a thug, savage. I'm just gonna set the record straight. She a thug.
Okay.
Let's just go there right now. Man, listen, Mr. Kipsiri, I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
So, Naruto, they showed the whole her loving him. Simping again. She a simping. She drank the juice, the Naruto juice. She fell head over heels. She did. She drank the Naruto juice. She just in the cut, timid, loved that man. And he just, whatever, oblivious. Trust me, I don't get there. I'm just giving some context. He oblivious to her. And everybody else could see it. She head over heels on this dude. Because he's sipping after Sakura. It's like a whole love triangle thing with them. It's really, Sad. But anyway, he's sipping after her. He got a girl sipping after him, and he just oblivious to everything. 2 years, they growing up, you know, he's still head over heels to Sakura. I think he kind of getting it, like, you know, she's, you know, she don't like me. I think she like him. No, he was still simping.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting this. So he's still simping, right? Until Pain came along. And he had stabbed Naruto because I think he was in Sage mode and he was going at it. He got the up on the man and he stabbed his hands on the ground. He couldn't move. He about to, you know what I'm saying? He about to give Naruto his pink slip. Okay, for our younger generation, that means he about to get terminated. He fired, about to get terminated. That's what pink slip is. You know, gotta explain that. Okay. So, man, but I tell you what, nobody was trying to see this fool. They was like, this is too much. We can't do nothing. No, not Delicious. Not my girl. She said, sir, over my dead body, you are not killing my man. Period. I think she even confesses, like, I love him. Did she say that?
Yeah, she confessed.
She confessed. And finally, you know, his eyes were starting to open up. I think they was doing flashbacks of all the stuff and his stuff. I think he just kind of finally hit home. And, like, she defended him. I mean, she ain't no threat to Pain whatsoever, but it doesn't matter, bro. It's a simple fact. She was like, she literally went over my dead body. You gonna kill my man. You know, he ain't my man, but he in my mind, he my man. Thug life, for real. So, Pain was just like, you know what? Screw this. Man, he hit her so hard, boy, you thought she died. Naruto finally caught a clue. Thank you. Man, I've been waiting for this for so long. So long he caught the clue. He just, and I was like, did you catch it? He killed him a little too much, because then my man flipped out and was about to kill everybody. But it was just at that point, man, was just like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. It finally happened. I've been waiting for this for so long. He did it. My girl's a savage thing, and my man finally caught a clue. Even though he kind of lost a little bit, he got to murder everybody over that. That's what that was my favorite scene. It might not the whole fight, but I know that it touched me. Not in the wrong way, but it got your boy. It touched me. So, and I want to say, fight for. Oh no, the other one, my boy got. Y'all 9 gates, baby. It was 9.
Yeah, 8.
I hate you. Yeah. No, I love you, baby. Keep me on my toes. 8 games. I was close to this time. I was 1 off. All right. Pretty mad, somewhat. Man, my dude was like, yeah, no, man. Yeah, you gonna see me, homie. It was the 8th gate, the death gate. But man, he gave him that superpower. He turned red. Man, and then my boy, who was it? Rock. And he started crying because he knew it was about to happen. He was like, oh my God. My dude went in. Oh my God. Did he almost kill him?
Yeah, he almost killed him. Yeah.
He released Night Guy. That's when Night Guy came out. That's what it's called, Night Guy. When he released that game, Night Guy. Yeah.
When he did that, man, I don't know, man. I choked up again. It touched me again. I was like, that's my dude. He's like, I ain't got all this and all that, but you gonna see me. I ain't no pushover. He showed his true colors. I was so proud, man. I was so proud. But I was sad because the man lost his legs. He lost his legs.
Hey,
you know what I'm
price you pay for
love y'all. But yeah, bro, that was a great one for me. Man, I tell you another time they touched me right here. My boy Neji. They killed Neji, dog.
Spoiler alert, just in case you didn't know.
He said there's gonna be a lot of spoilers, so I already said that.
You did by now, shame on you. Slap yourself. Just like that. Slap. My boy Neji went down. Who did he fight?
Neji
was just in the war fighting against those. Yeah, that's all there was. Fighting against those, what is that, the white Zetsus?
The white Zetsus. Yeah, he just died fighting them. Yeah, he died fighting the plant.
Well, he died saving Naruto is what happened. He actually threw his life away.
Yeah, killed Neji. I knew they did that on purpose because they knew they was gonna get to everybody, but I don't know if I like that.
That was a stupid choice, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing I did not like. No, everybody to kill, y'all kill Neji.
Yeah, that was just a dumb pick for somebody to die, cause that dude played no significant role in the Shippuden anime part 2 part of Naruto. Like he wasn't even important.
Hey, look, they could have kept him on, but they decided to use him in the wrong way. So I mean, they used him in the wrong way. So with that said, Christopher Robbins dropped his picks. What's it for you, Mr. Conspiracy? I know you got some amazing fights you want to talk about, because I got some amazing ones I want to talk about. So it was quite a bit.
Oh man, There's quite a bit. Pain in Naruto, everyone loves that one, so I'm not even going to even bring that up. Not even going to, even talk about that one. There's actually quite a few that I really do like. I know, Rich, I already know which one you gonna pick, DLC, but let's see, man. I had one in mind, to be honest with you. I did like the Madara versus my guy. Like, it was up there. A lot of them really touched home, like, as far as, like, some of the ones in the fourth grade Ninja War really wasn't, like, true fights and battles. It was more of, like, moments instead of like an all-out battle. But the one thing that I enjoyed probably a lot from the fourth grade Ninja War is when the 5K went up against Madara and they thought they could see him. And when they in the same league now, like when he basically showed them, okay, so y'all 5-on-1, and then A, who's the I think he's the Razekage, and was like, well, hey, this is just an atonement of how strong you are, right? Like, we just showing you, like, our respect of how strong you are. He said, okay, cool then. So then he made 4 more clones. No. He made 15 clones, wasn't it? Yeah. He made 15 clones.
Like 15 to 20 of them,
Yeah. He said, this ain't unfair. This is me showing y'all respect now. And then he said, so, I got a question for y'all. Do y'all want to fight these clones with Susanoo or without Susanoo? And he was like, well, since y'all didn't pick, I'm going to let y'all fight them with Susanoo. So they was making all these clones that was using just like a little small version of a Susanoo, right?
And Mr. Conspiracy, I got to jump in for 1 second, dude. My favorite part of that fight, just for a second, my favorite part of that fight when Tsunade, she thought she was hard. He was like, you're nothing compared to your grandfather. You're nothing. Your power is nothing compared. He didn't need to do signs and all of that stuff. He was like, you're nothing compared to Hiroshima. You know what I'm saying? You're nothing compared to your grandma. Dude, I about fell out laughing. He's like, you're trash compared to him. Like, you got his bloodline, you're garbage. Like, go ahead, man. That's hilarious.
So, like, they jumping all the way around like the battlefield, right? So they cut back to the 5Ks fighting all of these clones of Madara. And you notice that all of the Ks are having a hard time, but they trying to really go at it. So Inoki, he is the Keg of the Stone Village. I think he's around like 80, 90 years old at this time. He actually fought Madara back in his prime, then rallies the troops, and he uses his Gekkei Genkai ability, which is basically like a laser that obliterates anything. It's a light that obliterates anything. So he starts obliterating a whole bunch of the clones, and he really leads them to what they think is victory. So Madara was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So it's time to actually go ahead and fight seriously. So Noki is like, oh no, man, we gonna win. He gives like this, amazing speech. Everyone's morale is all boosted up. And Madara's like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, you just see this huge shadow start growing over the battlefield. It's this huge Susanoo that keeps growing and growing. And all of a sudden, it's bigger than the other ones that the clones were using. And this looks a little differently. And it's giving off this aura and this power that is just like, all the Ks are like, this is impossible. Like, how can he emit so much chakra energy? And Madara looked at them and said, no. He gripped his fist and said, calm down. It's not complete yet. And then he completed the perfect Susanoo. And when they saw the final form, even Inoki had to win. Like, he was sweating. He was like, what? And when he released, the Susanoo released the sword, dude, and destroyed 3 mountains. Like, them mountains had to be like 5 yards or something, bro.
You missing Conspiracy. You missing the part. You missing the one part
before that. Man. Hold on, man. Hold on. So when that happened, right, Inoki was like, he looked back at Madara and was like, so back then, why didn't you come with us for real? Like, and Madara looked at him and was like, what adult goes full force when fighting children?
Jesus Christ.
And the look on his face was like,
hey, Conspiracy. The other line that's in there was when they was like, there's no way the first Hokage fought against you. That's not even human. And one. He was like, we ain't even human. He was like, they were just blown. Because that came first, and then that line you said came. And then they found out the real, and that was crazy. And it was like,
crazy, bro.
It was like, because then you have to start thinking, oh my God, the first Hokage was a god. These are gods fighting. These are mortals. These are some gods fighting each other. Like, That
There was
fight,
another saying he said. He was like, my brother was like, y'all should have had somebody who could revive the first Hokage. That's the only one who could ever beat me. And then he was like, he said, "No, actually, it's a good thing he's not here." And the rest of them looked at him like, "Hold on, what do you mean?" The Kings looked at him like, "Are you crazy?" He said, "Because with just me here, the maps only have to be redrawn a little bit." Like, hold on.
He said they was gonna move some
They about to
gonna reshape
oceans.
we're gonna reshape the planet if we fight again. Hey, you remember the first time they fought that valley? They put them statues there after their fight because they blew the whole thing up. Fighting each other for however many days it was. Because they fought for days. It wasn't like hours. They fought for days.
For days, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, that's. What else you got? Conspiracy is in my turn. Because I don't know, man.
I got one more. I got one more. So another one, which is actually pretty interesting to me, and I don't think people really understand this one, is when Obito no longer. This is before he actually became the Ten Tails, and he was actually fighting Kakashi inside and outside of that dimension. When it was just him and Kakashi going at it.
That was a hot fight.
And what that showed me was like true ninjutsu ability and battle. Like, forget the whole chakra, forget the I'm a Jinchuriki, forget the, like the genjutsu, all that stuff. We just gonna actually go at it hand-to-hand melee, and I'm gonna try, and like the way they were using, their shurikens.
I love the flashback in the fight.
And the flashbacks that they had as kids matching up with them as adults, but just a little bit more violent. I thought that was phenomenal because they showed when they had their little battle when as children part of the same team, when it was more like a dual initiation or whatever. And then they basically mimicked it as they were adults, but then you saw them actually trying to kill each other at that point. That right there was a true battle of ninjutsu in my opinion. And I really love that fight. I think it gets overlooked a lot.
It shouldn't. That fight, that's one of the few fights that they have redone as a live action. If you've ever seen the live action versions of that fight, that is one of the few Naruto fights they did a live action of. And one of the YouTubers who did it was a perfect match for the cartoon. So yeah, that is probably one of the greatest fights of Naruto Shippuden. Okay, conspiracy. Them some hot fights, man. I can't even lie to you, man. Like you said, there's so many fights in there in Shippuden. My fight is Itachi and Sasuke. Because that right there, when Sasuke gets there, and at first they talking, and it's just a battle of Genjutsu. You know what I'm saying? At first it's just a battle of Genjutsu. Because Itachi, there's no emotion on his face or whatever. He's looking, even when Sasuke has him on the ground and then he points over there and he's still sitting on the throne and the crows come out and then he stabs him and then he stabs Itachi and he's like, my eyes can see more than you think. And Itachi's like, no, not yet. They still can't really see, And the Genjutsu battle is over and they get into a real fight. And the fight is going well, and then it's like, oh man, and Sasuke do his move, and you think it's over with and everything. And then Itachi like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? And everything is headed towards, he keeps pointing to the eye. They had that big old fight. And then Orochimaru comes out because Itachi uses that forbidden jutsu, that sword he has, that for that eternal slumber. Yep. And he slices Sasuke to get rid of Orochimaru. And then at the very end, Sasuke think he dead, and then Itachi touches his eye like he did when he was a kid because he thought he wanted his eye, and then he passes away. And then you find out the real truth. It was like, your brother could have killed you at any point in time he wanted to. He's like, everything he did was to make sure that you were so powerful that you could be the Avenger you wanted to be. He set up, he made himself the villain so that you wouldn't feel bad for what had to be done because he knew he needed to die for what he done, even though it was on order. He got like one of the most, like if you want to talk about a hero that nobody want to give props to, Itachi, like, and I'm going to make sure you get my eyes too, so you can get your Mangekyou Sharingan. He made sure because Sasuke was losing his vision. So he set everything up. That whole fight, everything was set up to, for one thing, save his brother because he knew Orochimaru had him. He knew what he was doing. He saved his brother. He made sure his brother believed that, he was the hero he needed to be. It wasn't until he started talking to Obito and Obito told him the truth about his brother, because Itachi never wanted that. So like that fight to me was just to me as powerful as the fight between Pain and what's her
Huh?
name, Hinata or whatever her was, because
Yeah.
for the emotion, right? Because when you find out what's really going on, you think he trying to take his eye, but he really like, I love you. I just can't say it out loud. Like that's all he had, man. Like his brother was all he cared about in that village. It was so crazy because the setup for the right was like everybody thought up to that point this dude was terrible, so he's just this villain, and you come to find out he's actually the hero of the story that nobody even knew about. And so that's why, like I said, that was one of my favorite fights. Now another fight, now we can't skip over Shikamaru and the dude who couldn't die and what he did to him after he killed his mentor. Like, now I know there was a bunch of different fights going on, I understand that, but the only thing about it was the reason why I like the fight, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, the only reason why I like it is the tactics. Because his brain, he outsmarted. That's all it boiled down to. After the first fight they had with that group, he outsmarted him. And I loved it because he's like, you know, you can't kill me. He was like, well, my family runs this force. They're never going to find you. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody knows you're here. And he blew him up into a million. It was like some of the coldest stuff, you know, because after he killed his mentor, like, there's so many great fights in Shippuden. Like, I get crunk just thinking, like, make me want to go rewatch the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then we can't forget about the shindig at the very end with Naruto and Sasuke reliving the first fight they had at the very end. I mean, there's so many, like, man, we could go all the whole time about, like, Shippuden because of the storytelling, the great fights. Like, man, we could be all over this place, man. I mean, like, seriously, that's hot. But, you know, I think it's time for something different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get we talking about this, but I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time. Nah, it ain't messing up.
Messing up.
It's fisticuff time, baby.
And now,
Bring my boy out.
this world shall know pain.
It's time for Anime Fisticuffs! DLC. Who do we have lined up for today?
Now, this one is going to be very interesting. We got Mike Guy versus Pain. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be an interesting fight. So, I am going to let Christopher Robbins pick who got who. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little neutral observer here. So, who's got who? I'm going to let you pick who got what person, and we're going to run with it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to run with it. Who's taking who, Miss Pooh Bear? Who's got who?
Let's see. No idea.
Okay.
You can't pick what person to represent a character? For the fisticuffs? That's all you gotta do. Pick one of us for a character.
I'm trying to be. I want it to be good though.
All right. It's gonna be good either way it go.
You got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So,
That
I got
whatever his name is.
Pain.
Pain.
Pain. That's right.
Yeah.
Excuse me, people. I'm a little sleepy. Pain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
All right, Conspiracy. You up first. You first rounds on you, brother. You come out. Hey, you got Mike Guy. Let's roll. This on you. Let's go.
Okay. So the whole situation is this. It depends on if we're doing, actual Naruto or are we doing the Pain, with the 6 pass. I'm assuming that we're doing Pain with the 6 pass, right?
Well,
like
we can
the,
do
6 puppets.
We can do. No, I don't want that because there's a lot. I want Naruto. I want just regular old Pain with all his abilities, in his prime, not bootleg jacked up, Pain. But Naruto.
Okay, so this is Pain that before the pass, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. This is before he get messed up by Hanzo. You know what I'm saying? But before that happened, he got crippled.
So, I mean, honest the truth, man, because he really didn't become,
hard until after the fact.
Yeah, until after the fact. Like, that's when he truly learned, how to use the Rinnegan of like the actual abilities after that. That's even said in the stories,
Yeah, that's
when it
true.
comes
That
to the
okay.
arcs that actually cover him.
You're
Mm.
right. You're right because he doesn't get that mentality to after he get
Yeah,
jacked up and his home and Yahiko get killed or whatever. I think it's
yeah.
Yahiko ends up getting killed and that make him. You're right. So
Hmm.
we going with cripple with 6 bodies.
Okay.
You were going
All
with
right.
the
All
you
right.
say
Woo,
you
it's gonna be
hey
Now,
rough.
so you you got first round so
oh,
let's
I got
roll with it.
this. I got this, bro. I got this. So this is going to be real interesting because everyone, has already seen that whole Naruto pain. If you really like that Shippuden, right? So you understand how pain and the six paths abilities actually work. So the crazy part is that each puppet has one ability of the Rinnegan. Like for instance,
You
one
got the
can,
you got the diva path, the Ashura
yeah,
path, the human path, the animal path, and the Preta path, and the Naraka path. Each, like you said, each one got its own ability.
yeah.
So
Yes. So only one of them can technically bring the other puppets back. So and he normally like they actually normally form in a formation to where that pain puppet is always in the back, so he's protected. And then the pain puppet that's up front is the one that normally neutralizes all chakra jutsu, basically. So he can absorb
mm,
all of jutsu chakra, right? Um, so the situation that my guy finds himself in, to me, is that everyone believes that I'm just gonna have him open up the gate of death, which would be stupid. That wouldn't even make any sense. Number one, he dies. I'm not gonna try to win this on a suicide mission. So we're gonna try to do this real. He is the master of taijutsu. There is no better master than him. Not even the old man who's known as the Hurricane 100. I think it's Hurricane 100 Master, who actually does the Hurricane kick. It's like a Dragon Hurricane kick. You see him in the beginning of Naruto Part One. He dies. I forgot how he dies, but he dies. Guy actually meets him, learns that, and he grows a lot stronger. So, for me, the situation that Guy would actually need to actually win against them, he has incredible speed. He's one of the fastest people in the Naruto universe. And what's crazy about my guys, that if you really think about it, without the Gege Genkai, without being a Shinchiriki, without one of those Kaien boosts, things like that, if you really think about it, Guy is actually very, very powerful. Like he's one of the very few like God tier, especially like when he opens up the 8th gate, he becomes God tier. He's one of the very few that doesn't need a outside force or an outside boost to become powerful, right? Um, and to me, with his speed, the way he trains, with his physicality, he puts everything in his taijutsu with his speed and his technique. And since he has fought against Kakashi since they were kids, he has learned how to deal with a lot of visual prowess, a lot of genjutsu. So he's made a lot of counters with those. Crazy part though is that Pain really doesn't use genjutsu at all. So he uses the basic form of the Rinnegan. He actually doesn't use any genjutsu, and that's actually seen when he fights against Naruto. Actually, better against Jiraiya with the frogs that they actually use genjutsu against him, and that's how Jiraiya escapes the first time fighting against Pain. To me, I think that as long as he takes out two of the main pains, I feel like that he could easily win this. If he takes out the one in the back, speed wise, even though all the pains, their vision is connected. So that's one of like their biggest
Mm.
advantages. Their vision is connected, right? Well, Mike Guy is very, very quick. One of his abilities is his white tiger punch. He actually uses this punch against the 8 tails and the 9 tails during the fourth great ninja war. It is a huge white tiger. It's as big as a tail beast, and it's one of his fastest punches. And it forms. It's a wind. It almost looks like chakra, but it's basically wind that forms a huge tiger that actually bites at the end. It
Mm.
is really strong, and the length of it covers about 2 football fields. That's how like the wide range of that attack is. even though he's not known for like range attacks, that attack right there, to me, allows him to open up a gap. Even though they all use the same powers, it allows him to attack all of them at once, unless they're truly just really spread out. That would allow him to kind of mitigate some of, that formation being as tight, and he can attack them all at once. And in my opinion, his taijutsu skills, I think that with his I forgot what you call it. It's the Hididaru. I believe that is the punch that he was using against Madara. It looks like fire is basically coming out of his hands. One of those attacks can, in my opinion, take out a pain puppet. He can really just take them out one by one, and speed, I think, would be his greatest asset when it comes to that. The quicker he can throw tiger punches, because he can do more than once. Because so the thing about the tiger punch is that he can do it multiple times because it doesn't use chakra, right? So his energy doesn't drain, or his stamina doesn't drain as fast as someone, like a Naruto using the clones, right? Like the cloning jutsu or something like that, right? Yeah, save things like that. He doesn't have that issue. So for him, he's able to use his special abilities or his special techniques like over and over again. And with his speed and physicality, I feel like that would really give him a fighting chance to kind of take out one or two puppets at a time, so he can actually get to the fight with the main Pain. And that one-on-one, I think, without even opening up the gates, I think that he could get to that main Pain before he even has to open up the gates. And when he gets to that Pain, opening up the 7th gate, in my opinion, should be enough for that one-on-one battle.
So typically I would agree with you. I mean, you're about 100% correct. However, here's my however to that, though. The human path of pain, which gives the user the ability to read the target's mind and be able to yank out their soul and learn their techniques. So with that being said, once Pain, because of his fighting and all he's done with Akatsuki all over, he knows about Mike Guy's ability. You know what I mean? He's very familiar with Mike Guy because of that one ability he has, because he's tortured, he's taking these souls from some of these people who were in the Hidden Leaf Village. So he's very aware of your boy Mike Guy. Now, I grant you, he's probably the worst matchup for Pain because he doesn't use chakra. Okay? Now, you can't absorb, now it's a crazy matchup because he doesn't use chakra. If we talk about anybody else, you'd have to overpower him. But in the case of Mike Guy, because he uses those attacks and it's all about his power, that's problematic for Pain. Now, where I can get him and take advantage of that is where Mike Guy doesn't know about Pain necessarily. Pain does know about Mike Guy because of Jiraiya, Akatsuki, all the stuff that they've been doing and all the souls he's taking. Mike Guy is known. Okay, he's a very famous shinobi. He's not a nobody. You know what I'm saying? He's a legendary. I mean, to your point, he's legendary. So most people, especially I know for a fact, Pain knows about this dude. You know what I'm saying? So the advantage here that I would say you normally would have would be that Pain doesn't know about, now if he didn't know, now if we're saying he didn't know, I would say that would definitely be problematic for me. But to your point, he's got to figure out which paths you end up giving you and which ones you end up messing up. Now, because typically with a Pain fight, my first thing for a guy, because he doesn't use chakra, is if I'm using the diva path, for instance, right, which is attraction and repulse, and he pulls my guy to him, how does my guy get out of that? Because Kakashi struggled with that because he had to use a little chain thing in order to stop him from going. He had to use a weapon or a clone or something like that. But in Guy's case, he doesn't use that. He uses his nunchucks, and he doesn't use shadow clones. So if I repel him and bring him to me, the game might be over for him at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a powerful ability. That pull and push is powerful. The next thing he's gonna have to encounter, like I said, now maybe, but the other thing is he's gonna have to contend with is I can summon. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm using that animal path, I'm summoning different things. So he's fighting 6 people, but he's also fighting my summons as well, because I got one that's summoned. I got one, you know what I'm saying, that can push and pull you, you know, that can do that. So he's gonna have, and then I got one that can bring everything back to life, even if you kill it. So I mean, in order for my guy to win this fight, he'd have to hit the one body that can bring people back to life. You know what I'm saying? And destroy it and destroy a couple of them. But I don't think he can win this fight just because if he has the knowledge, like if he knew what Jiraiya knew in the fight, sure, I give you that, because then we already know how that's gonna go. But being that he's got to approach the situation as a unknown, I think that's where his disadvantage lies. Because again, I can push and repel you from the first time, because usually in Pain's fight, when he first encountered Kakashi and he knew who Kakashi was, he's like, oh, the copy ninja. Yeah, I know about you. He didn't waste time with Kakashi. He tried to bring Kakashi right to him. And I can guarantee you, with my guy, knowing how legendary my guy is, he's gonna do that's gonna be the first opening move. He's gonna yank my guy to you. I don't know how you get out of that. Now I want to hear your rebuttal to that conspiracy. How do you get away from my pull and push with what you know about guy, the moves he has? Now, what's gonna be your way to get around that? So that's my question for you first.
So one of Guy's biggest strengths is his stamina, because that's what he trains all day, every day. Is his stamina, his durability, and his physicality. Those are his 3 niches right there that he trains during the show. You see it all the time, what he does, right? And one of the situations that I can see what you're saying, like the push and pull, that Tensei is crazy. I love it. I actually love it. I love it in the video games. That it would be a real hard thing to overcome. Here's the thing, though. The biggest weakness of Pain is Naruto himself. What I mean is this. If you push him enough, the physical body of Pain causes him mental and physical injury. And he loses, and he's not able to have enough energy chakra to control the puppets appropriately, meaning that he can't control all of them at the same time. It depends on his mental and his physical self, and that's seen throughout the Naruto and actual Pain fight. But God would have to push him to that point. Now, if you're just going to push, pull, right, with the main Pain, right? If you're going to push, pull, like that's all you're going to really do. And okay, now pulling him, and you're talking about opening up the Gate of Wonder, which is the 7th gate. That might not be the best thing, is to pull him close. One of the things that I have not actually brought up when it comes to my guy is his summons, which is the Father Tortoise, right? You rarely see him actually use him in actual battles, things like that. But what is so special about the Tortoise, it's its defensive abilities. It's a magical being, and its physical abilities really have to deal more with the magical defense than an actual physical defense. So it's almost like putting up a barrier, right? Like a magical barrier. Why they don't allow my guy to kind of use him more, I have no idea why. But he also shrinks, and he can expand in size at the drop it instantly, right? So for me, it would be better if I use the Father Tortoise as a way to drag out this fight. The longer it goes and the more harder I can actually, like the more pressure I can put on actual Naruto's physical and mental strain when he's using his puppets, the better chance I'll have if I cannot end it quickly. For instance, like, he doesn't know anything about Pain. My guy doesn't know anything about Pain. That is for sure. So he's going to approach with caution. That's the way he does. He's going to take his time learning his actual opponent, which is a smart thing to do when you only know taijutsu. You don't know anything else, right? For him, if he takes out 1 or 2, because I know him, he's going to take out 1 or 2 quickly, and he will see the pain that can bring back someone back to life. He will see that. He is excellent when it comes to strategy on the fly when it comes to fighting. Kasame, when he was about to go up against Kasame and Itachi at the same time, and Itachi was like, yeah, man, this will be a death fight. Let's go ahead and just go. Well, there was a reason for that. You know, it's because just because he hasn't fought Kasame before, that does not mean that they can just automatically beat him. He's an actual strategist, even though the show really doesn't show it. The show got more being, you know, like an imbecile, but in like an actual combat, that dude is very intelligent. I think that he can put enough pressure just for the fact that he would take out one or two, because most of the Pains really are not good fighters. Like the Animal Pain, for instance. All she can do is just summon. That's all she does. You hit her, she goes down, period, easily. The one that brings people back to life, he can't fight at all either. You hit him, he's going down, period. The one that likes to use himself as like a weapon, he does like the he can manipulate his body into like any type of weapon, like any type of metal, like a sword, lance, even like missiles, stuff like that, you know. That's all he has. So what I'm saying is that you give my guy a certain amount of time when him using the tortoise as kind of like a deterrent to the push and the pull because of the magic barrier that he can use. And he knocks out one or two of the Pains, and he actually sees how they function as far as bringing them back. If he can buy himself enough time, I think that he can come up with a strategy to actually get to that Pain that can bring them back to life. Now, once he does that, he can pick them off one by one. And that's only because of Father Tortoise's abilities when it comes to defense. He can shrink, he has the magic barrier, and he can expand in size when necessary instantly. So for me, I think that one of the things that would really be nice, he jumps in the air, summons him, he expands to actually fill up that entire battlefield, and he just drops them on all of them, and let's see what happens, you know, because more likely Pain is going to do like the push or the pull, whatever. But when he uses that, in order for him to use that ability that he did to destroy the actual village, he has to take all the energy from all of the other puppets into the main Pain, and that's how he uses that ability. He can't use that ability any other way, and that makes a huge drain on the physical, on the real Naruto. So I think that might be a good way to do it.
So,
Well, I can tell you this, right? So here's where my guy is gonna get blown into smithereens, right? The very move that push and pull you talking about blew that whole village up. There's no defense for that. You know what I'm saying? If he goes and he feels that my guy is such a threat, because remember when Pain came in village, he's like, yeah, I know who's here. I'm about to prove a point. He blew the whole village up. So if he uses that move against my guy, I don't care how fast you are, you go bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? You go blow. Now, if you happen to survive that, yeah, you might have a chance. But the thing about Pain that most people don't talk about is he's from the Uzumaki clan. So his chakra levels are high. Very high, because even after he did that, he still had a fight with Naruto when Naruto got him down to one clone, even after he blew all that. And Naruto had to go into Sage mode. Naruto had to push him harder than I believe my guy would be able to, even after all of that. Okay? My guy get hit with that blast is over. And then you telling me even if he survived, Pain still got 6 bodies that still can do all that. Now, here's the other thing. Now, when you were talking about taijutsu and stuff, now let's get this clear. Pain can do taijutsu, you know what I'm saying, with his bodies. Okay, now some of them are weaker than others, but keep in mind he still has an ability because he's a shinobi to be able to do taijutsu based on the user's ability. And the one who can do taijutsu, the push and pull dude and all of that, he could still keep up with Naruto even in Sage mode. Now, keep in mind, Sage mode, he was hitting him. He couldn't understand how he was getting hit, but I don't have to worry about that with my guy, right? And so the thing about it is for my guy to win a fight against this character, you'd have to have what I call a perfect storm of things to go in your direction. I don't need a perfect storm to kill my guy, because like you said, I can do, almighty push, and, we can call you and your turtle tortoise or whatever the hell you something. You kiss your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye, right? They get blow smoke, you dead. And even if you survive that because of his defensive capabilities, now you got to deal with my 6. You know what I'm saying? Your turtle gonna be dead, guarantee you. Even if he survived a blast, we gonna put him down with the salt. He gonna be gone, bro. Like I said, it's an interesting fight, but there's too many things that you have to have a whole bunch of things stacked in the right direction for you to win. My character don't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? And we're not even talking about all the other rent and gun abilities I have. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about the simple stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's an interesting fight, but I don't think he can win. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, perfect storm, right scenario. But I wanna say this. I only wanted to go 2 rounds because of time. You know what I'm saying? Because I see where we are on time. So we'll have to let the audience decide. How I think it's an interesting fight. Don't get me wrong. Oh, go ahead, Christopher Robbins. Go ahead, jump. What you got to say about this?
Quick comments on both of y'all. So I know this conspiracy, you're leading more on the longevity of the fight, right? To where I'm
I have to because he doesn't know Payne's abilities.
right. And Doc, you're leaning on hey, get it over quick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I already know what you can do.
This up, but I really want to know. This is gonna be Doc. Okay, what if he did use his suicidal attempt?
Oh, so if he now let me preface this. Okay, if he's willing to go suicide mode, he wins. Okay, he
I didn't
will
want to
win
do
this
that.
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
he don't want to.
I just wanted to
And I'll tell you why he wins. Okay, when my guy did Night Guy and he fought Madara complimented him. He said, only the first Hokage has ever injured me like this. Okay? So if you got Madara, and keep in mind, with the whole conversation we had prior to this was about the 5 Kages, right? Not being able to put a dent in them. You know what I'm saying? But my guy at that level, even Madara is like, you hit me, a different way, I'd probably be dead. And he was revived.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about this. If all of them were lined up and he went my guy with the amount of time, they'd all be dead. Okay, he'd blow their bodies away and be able to come. If he can figure out where the last body is, that they're dead. I mean, like I'm a realist. Okay, but when he said we're not doing suicide mode, I mean,
I just wanted your thoughts on that. That was it.
Both our characters die. Both our characters die at the end of the day.
Actually, it's not important, but know your thoughts on that. Yeah, I think that was real. Let's start wrapping it up. I just got a text. So.
Well, we gonna hop into what's hot, what's not. You know what I'm saying. We'll keep it pretty to the point. So we'll start with you. You know what I'm saying, Christopher Robbins.
Right.
What you got on what's hot, what's not?
Keep it short and sweet, simple this time. What's hot on the oldie but great again? If you heard this, yeah, you need to see it. I pulled one out of my backside on this one. Little quick context. It's about this. It's a future Earth. It's being ruled by this guy called the Spiral King. And he's delegated everybody, humans, because I think he's an alien, and he got his whole army came. So now all the humans are living in these subterranean tunnels. They're underground. If they go up, basically, they're gonna die. Um, and the focus is on this character named Simon. I think Simon, something like that. And he's a digger. So these diggers, their job is to dig new holes, basically to expand the whole underground living quarters. Well, he has his homeboy, my dude, Kamina. I think it's Kamina. Yeah, it's homeboy Kamina. He's a little older guy, but he has this fantasy about going to top side. He's tired of living underground. But boy Simon, he don't care. He okay with it. They find this a little itty bitty robot that you can get into and pilot. Long story short, they get on top of the earth. He has this little drill thing that gives this robot spiral powers. And it's all based on spirals and geometry, I think. But it's pretty cool. The robots, it's almost kind of like they can add to the robots and they get bigger and bigger. Eventually, they'll get so big that he's fighting space. You just go watch it, you understand what I'm saying. Hot. It's so rewatchable. It's so great. Gurren Lagann, please watch it if you haven't, people. Was not my daughter left the nest and returned as an S-rank adventurer. Yes, that is the whole title of the show. On Crunchyroll. It's about this girl and this guy, this dude who used to be an ex-adventurer. He got his leg torn off. I think he found this girl. I think she was abandoned as a baby, so he takes her in and he adopts her. Um, he grows up. He teaches her how to fight. For some reason, though, she's insanely strong. She becomes an S-rank adventurer like that at a young age. Gets to this party, and then she cries the whole time about she need to go see her daddy. So she tries to finish her jobs, wants to go visit her daddy because she works out of town now. But something always comes up. She can't see him. She pouts. That goes on for a couple episodes. That got kind of up my butt. Then she finally sees him. She just I don't know. It's weird, but I didn't like it. Um, yeah, people. I mean, some people might like it. I didn't care for it. So that's it for me.
Right, I'll go next. I don't have I have one, but I don't have a what's not right now because we don't have enough time for me to go into it. But my what's hot is History's Strongest Disciple.
We hear you, Doc.
DLC, can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Look like his stuff is messed up. Oh no, he can't afford stuff. So Kenichi basically gets bullied in high school and he wants to be a martial arts master and he ends up basically going to a dojo and he ends up getting, I think it's over 7 martial arts masters to actually teach him. And he goes through trial and tribulations with a whole bunch of adventures with the only other disciple at that school, who's a chick. Her name is Miyu. And so I think that you should actually watch that. That is pretty good. I don't want to spoil too much. Let's just say there's a lot of funny characters. A human that people think is an alien, I think is phenomenal. And so definitely watch that. It is called History's Strongest Disciple. If you read manga, definitely read the manga. It is actually fantastic.
Really good manga.
So, but that is my what's hot. DOC, for some strange reason, he's having issues.
I'm back now.
Okay. He's back now.
For whatever reason, the headset, it cut out. So, man, I was about to get into my what's hot, what's not, but thank you. So I ended up finding one called The Overpowered Healer. It's a manga. Very interesting kind of take on basically this dude. Basically, he got summoned to another world, and in their world, like healers are just, I mean, they're okay. I mean, he's a mediocre healer at best. But anyway, what he finds is that he finds that in his world, the gods are playing with people's lives like you do board characters in Dungeons and Dragons, and he finds out that they're just characters being played, and like the gods roll dice and everything to determine like the outcomes of certain things. And it's a really interesting take because he starts to be able to hear the voices of the gods. He can hear what they're saying. So he knows what the characters are going to be doing, the next moves characters are going to make. And he ends up, using it to his advantage and learning how to get different skills because he can hear the gods' conversation and they don't realize that he can hear them. So it's pretty interesting story. My what's not, man, I don't know if I necessarily have one this week where I saw something I was like, man, this is just trash, and I don't want no part of it, man. No, I don't really have a what's not for this week on this episode. So you're only getting some greatness. I haven't seen any trash this week that I want to let the rest of the world know. You know what I'm saying? Not to mess with, but yeah, that's my what's hot, what's not. So it's about time to wrap this bad boy on up, man. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know who the next anime fisticuffs is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Please stay tuned. Hey, and let us know if you want that conspiracy aluminum foil hat and robe, man. We'll be selling it on our site at a certain point in time, so you can get your own and be crazy, right?
Got my face holding and everything.
Yeah, we'll sell it too.
Oh yeah, hey man, put one in the chat for your boy when it comes to that fisticuffs, man. I think that I did a pretty good job on that. But go ahead and put one for your man Mike Guy. And I also want to hear y'all's opinions on that whole gibberish DLC was talking about, man, with that paint stuff. I know he missed a lot, you know, as far as his stuff. So I know I won.
Wow.
Damn, baby. Mr. Conspiracy. We out.
He trash. Bye.